My friends, hear me today, because sometimes the greatest enemy you face is not outside of you. It is within you. And if you don't learn how to discipline your emotions will discipline your destiny. Life is not governed by what you feel, it is governed by what you understand. And if you live your life reacting to everything and everyone, you will become a puppet controlled by the world around you. So, today, I came to tell you something you may not want to hear, but you need to hear. Stop being an emotional fool. Control your emotions before they control your decisions. This is not simply advice, this is a law of destiny. Many people lose opportunities, not because they are unqualified, but because they are emotionally undisciplined. Every time you react without thinking, you hand over your authority to the situation. You let external circumstances dictate your internal state. And anyone or anything that can control your emotions can also control your decisions, your direction, and ultimately your future. If your emotions dictate how you speak, how you choose, and how you respond, then your life becomes a series of reactions instead of intentional actions. You become a follower of impulse instead of a leader of purpose. The most dangerous prison is the one that is built inside of you, where emotions become the chains that keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. Every great leader, every successful person, every individual with lasting influence understands this truth. Emotions are powerful, but they must be governed. You are not instructed to kill your emotions, suppress your emotions, or pretend they do not exist. No, your emotions are a part of your humanity. They allow you to love deeply, care sincerely, and experience life meaningfully. But when they are allowed to sit in the driver's seat of your decisions, they can wreck your life. The heart is passionate, but it is not wise on its own. Wisdom is not found in how you feel, but in how you respond. A wise person will take a moment to breathe, reflect, and assess before they act. A foolish person speaks before thinking, reacts before understanding, and regrets after the damage is already done. Pause. That one word can save your future. Pause before responding in anger. Pause before making a choice in frustration. Pause before you speak words that cannot be taken back. That moment of stillness can be the difference between growth and destruction. The world teaches you to follow your heart, but your destiny requires you to lead your heart. The heart is emotional, the mind is rational, the spirit is discerning. All three must work together. If one overpowers the others, your life falls out of balance. You cannot make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Emotions change like the weather. Stability comes from understanding, not feeling. Listen carefully, emotional control is not weakness, it is power. The person who can remain calm in chaos is the one who will rise above others. The one who stays steady while others panic becomes the leader. The one who can keep clarity while others are clouded becomes wise. Emotional control is the strength that separates those who succeed from those who collapse under pressure. You must train yourself to respond, not react. A reaction is automatic, but a response is intentional. A reaction is fueled by impulse, but a response is fueled by purpose. A reaction is driven by emotion, but a response is guided by wisdom. This world is full of people who ruined relationships because anger spoke first. Many destroyed opportunities because pride refused to pause. Many broke trust because insecurity controlled their choices. And many are living in regret because they allowed a moment of emotion to shape years of consequences. Do not let that be your story. You are too valuable, too gifted, too full of potential to let emotions sabotage your destiny. Your purpose requires discipline. Your calling requires clarity. Your future requires maturity. So learn to sit with your emotions without letting them lead. Feel them fully, but choose with intention. Because when you control your emotions, you regain your power. And the moment you reclaim your power, you reclaim your life. Your identity must be stronger than opinions. Because if the world can define you, the world can control you. Every day, you are surrounded by voices. Voices of society, voices of family expectations, voices of strangers, voices on social media, voices of comparison, judgment, and assumption. If you are not rooted in who you are, you will spend your life trying to fit into shapes that were never designed for you. You will bend yourself to please others, you will shrink yourself to be accepted, or you will inflate yourself to impress. And each time you allow the opinions of others to steer your identity, You lose a piece of yourself. Hear this carefully: your worth is not up for negotiation. The value of gold is not determined by the one who holds it. It is valuable because of what it is made of. And so are you. The greatest imprisonment in life is living for approval. When you live to be liked, you become allergic to authenticity. You start performing instead of living. You start hiding instead of expressing. And when you cannot be yourself, your soul becomes exhausted. Identity is not about what others see. It is about what you know to be true within yourself. Those who do not know who they are will always depend on the crowd to tell them. And crowds change. Opinions shift. One day they clap for you. The next day they criticize you. If your identity rests on applause, then criticism will destroy you. If your identity rests on validation, then rejection will break you. And if your identity rests on comparisons, then you will always feel like you are not enough, even when you are more than enough. Let me say something that may disturb you, but it is necessary you. Not everyone who speaks about you knows you. Not everyone who judges you understands you. Many people speak from ignorance. Many speak from jealousy. Many speak from insecurity. And many speak from their own emotional wounds. So why would you allow voices that do not even know your journey to influence your direction? Identity is not built from outside to inside. It is built from inside to outside. Once you become grounded in who you are, external noise becomes just that, noise. It is background sound, not guidance. You must reach a point in life where you can stand in silence and say, I know who I am, and I refuse to negotiate my identity for acceptance. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is clarity. It is knowing your worth without needing someone to confirm it. It is understanding your purpose without needing someone to approve it. People may misinterpret you, misunderstand you, or misjudge you, but their confusion is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to remain true to yourself. Hook into this truth. If you try to please everyone, you will eventually lose yourself. But if you remain true to yourself, the right people will find you, appreciate you, and walk with you. Authenticity attracts alignment. You cannot find your purpose while pretending. You cannot grow into your destiny while copying others. You were not designed to be a duplicate. You were created to be an original. The world has enough copies. The world needs you. So stand firm. Speak with clarity. Move with intention. Do not shrink. Do not fold. Do not apologize for being who you were created to be. There will always be opinions. There will always be commentary. There will always be whispers. But when your identity is rooted, they cannot shake you. When your identity is solid, they cannot break you. And when your identity is strong, you walk with a peace that does not require explanation. Because you know who you are, even if no one else understands. Discipline is the foundation of strength, not desire, not passion, not motivation, discipline. Because motivation is emotional, it rises and falls. Passion is seasonal, strong today, weak tomorrow. But discipline is a decision you commit to even when you no longer feel like it. A person with discipline becomes unstoppable, not because life is easy, but because they refuse to quit. Discipline is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. You can have talent and still fail. You can have ideas and still never manifest them. But when you build discipline, your life becomes structured, directed, and purposeful. There are many people who say they want success, but they are not willing to discipline themselves for it. They want the reward without the process. They want the results without the sacrifice. But greatness has a price, and that price is consistency. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. Every time you wake up early when you don't want to, every time you choose focus over distraction, every time you say no to what is easy and yes to what is necessary, you are building the strength that shapes your destiny. You are training your mind to obey your purpose instead of your mood. The strongest person is not the one who can lift the most weight, but the one who can carry responsibility without collapsing. Discipline gives you the ability to stay aligned with your purpose, even when life becomes challenging. It gives you emotional steadiness, mental clarity, and spiritual grounding. Without discipline, your emotions will lead you astray, your habits will betray your goals, and your desires will scatter your energy. Discipline teaches you to delay gratification, to choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure, and that is where maturity begins. Listen closely. Every area of weakness in your life is directly connected to the absence of discipline. If your finances are unstable, discipline is missing. If your health is deteriorating, discipline is missing. If your relationships are messy, discipline is missing. If your mind is chaotic, discipline is missing. Discipline is not about restriction, it is about alignment. It aligns your actions with your purpose. It aligns your habits with your goals. It aligns your lifestyle with your identity. And the moment you align, everything in your life begins to move in the direction of your growth. Here is your hook. What you don't discipline will eventually destroy you. If you don't discipline your appetite, your health will suffer. If you don't discipline your words, your relationships will suffer. If you don't discipline your emotions, your opportunities will suffer. If you don't discipline your time, your future will suffer. Discipline protects what you value. Without it, even the greatest blessings can slip through your hands. You were not designed to live a life of chaos and inconsistency. You were created with purpose. Purpose requires structure. Structure requires discipline. The moment you develop discipline, you stop being controlled by impulses and become guided by intention. You stop surviving life and start directing it. You stop hoping things will improve and start creating the improvement. Discipline makes you powerful in silence. You don't have to announce your progress. Your results will speak for you. So choose discipline, not once, but daily. Discipline your mind. Discipline your time. Discipline your habits. Discipline your emotions. Because when you train yourself to stay committed regardless of how you feel, you rise above the ordinary. You separate yourself from the average, and you become a person who not only dreams, but achieves. Emotional maturity starts with responsibility. You cannot grow if you keep blaming others for what you feel. You cannot heal if you keep expecting someone else to fix your peace. The moment you place responsibility for your emotions into the hands of another person, you surrender control of your life. Many people walk around wounded, frustrated, and confused, not because life was unfair, but because they refused to accept ownership of their reactions. You cannot control everything that happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. That is where maturity begins. Maturity is not measured by age, experience, or intelligence. It is measured by your ability to govern your emotions, to think before acting, and to choose response over reaction. Listen carefully. When you blame someone else for your anger, for your sadness, for your disappointment, you are telling them, "You have authority over my inner world, and whoever controls your inner world controls your decisions, your peace, and your growth." So long as your emotions are tied to the behavior of others, you will always live a reactive life. Your day will be shaped by how others treat you. Your confidence will be shaped by how others speak to you. And your direction will be shaped by how others behave around you. That is slavery of the soul. You were not born to be emotionally controlled. You were born to lead your emotions with wisdom, clarity, and strength. There will always be people who disappoint you, misunderstand you, or fail you. There will always be circumstances you did not expect and situations you did not deserve. But the power lies in your ability to decide how you will respond to those moments. You can choose bitterness, or you can choose understanding. You can choose anger, or you can choose growth. You can choose to remain a victim, or you can choose to rise as a victor. Responsibility is the shift from "they made me feel" to "this is how I choose to respond." That shift is where emotional maturity begins to take shape. Hook into this truth. Emotional responsibility is not denying how you feel. It is acknowledging your feelings with honesty, but refusing to let them dictate your behavior. It is saying, "Yes, I am hurt, but I will not become hateful. Yes, I am disappointed, but I will not destroy myself trying to prove a point. Yes, I am triggered, but I will not react in a way that damages my future." Emotional maturity requires restraint, and restraint is a sign of strength, not weakness. Weak people explode. Weak people react without thinking. Weak people let their wounds speak for them. Strong people pause. Strong people breathe. Strong people analyze. Strong people respond with intention. Responsibility also means recognizing your patterns. If the same kind of pain keeps repeating in your life, it is time to stop blaming others and start examining yourself. What wounds are you carrying? What beliefs are shaping your reactions? what insecurities are influencing your behavior. Growth requires self-awareness. You cannot transform what you refuse to acknowledge, and you cannot heal what you continue to justify. It takes courage to look within and say, I need to change. But that courage is what separates those who evolve from those who repeat the same cycles for years. So understand this deeply. The power is not in changing others. The power is in changing how you respond to others. When you choose responsibility, you choose freedom. You choose strength, you choose maturity, and you choose the version of yourself that is no longer controlled by circumstances, but guided by clarity and purpose. Some people are not placed in your life to grow you. They are placed to drain you. If you do not learn to protect your peace, people will use your emotions as a playground. You must understand that your peace is not just a feeling. It is your mental environment, your foundation, the atmosphere where your purpose breathes. When the wrong people enter your life, they bring confusion, chaos, overthinking, insecurity, and emotional exhaustion. And if you are not careful, you will begin to believe that this emotional turbulence is normal. But peace is your birthright. Peace is your power. Peace is your clarity. So you must guard it like treasure. Not everyone deserves access to your time. Not everyone deserves the privilege of your energy. Some people thrive on conflict. Some feed on drama. Some are addicted to chaos. They will always find a problem where there is none. They will always see something wrong, even in peace. These are emotional disruptors. And if you give them space in your life, they will shape your thoughts, poison your environment, and influence your decisions. When you keep such people close, you are not protecting them. You are sacrificing yourself. And sacrifice without purpose is self-destruction. Listen with your spirit. Your peace is not rude. It is not selfish. It is not cold. It is self-respect. Protecting your peace does not mean you hate others. It means you love yourself enough not to drown. You cannot pour into anyone if your own soul is empty. You cannot heal others if you are constantly bleeding. You cannot lead others if you are always trying to recover from emotional sabotage. This is why setting boundaries is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Boundaries are the fences that protect your mental and emotional garden. Without them, weeds of negativity, insecurity, and manipulation will grow unchecked. Here is the hook. When someone is always pulling you into emotional storms, it is because they have no calm within themselves. People who do not have peace try to disrupt yours. People who are internally unsettled cannot allow you to remain centered. Not because you did something wrong, but because your peace exposes their chaos. They don't want healing. They want familiar emotional environments. So they create situations, arguments, tension, and pressure to drag you into their internal conflict. You must rise above this. You must learn to detach. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you refuse to allow someone's emotional instability to become your emotional environment. It is saying, I hear you, I understand you, but I will not let this disturb my mind. That is emotional mastery. That is strength. You choose who has access to your mind. You choose who enters your heart. You choose who walks with you in your journey. And your future requires that you choose wisely. A peaceful mind makes wise decisions. A troubled mind makes desperate decisions. When your peace is disturbed, your judgment becomes clouded. You start reacting instead of responding. You start moving out of frustration instead of wisdom. So guard your peace like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your peace is your advantage. It is your anchor. It is where your clarity, confidence, creativity, and purpose flourish. So if someone constantly disrespects your peace, distance is not disrespect. It is maturity. Detach. Step back. Protect your soul. Because when you protect your peace, you protect your destiny. Think above your feelings, not below them. Feelings are powerful, but they are not always truthful. Your emotions are real, but they are not always accurate. They reflect your current state, not your full reality. Many people allow a temporary wave of emotion to drown long-term purpose. They make decisions in moments of sadness, regret in moments of clarity. They speak in anger and then spend days apologizing. They walk away in frustration and then later realize they abandoned something meaningful. This is why you must rise higher than your emotions. If your emotions lead your life, you will go where the wind blows. But if your mind and spirit lead your life, your steps become intentional, steady, and wise. Your feelings respond to what is immediate, but your mind can see what is ahead. Sometimes your emotions shout, "This hurts, stop," but your purpose whispers, "Keep going, this is growth." Sometimes your feelings say, "You are not enough," but your identity says, "You were created with value." If you do not elevate your thinking, your feelings will shape your beliefs. And once your beliefs are shaped by unstable emotions, your entire life becomes unstable. You cannot build a stable future on emotional impulses. You must build it on clarity. Here is the hook. Emotions are indicators, not leaders. They show you where something needs attention, but they do not tell you what to do. Anger indicates a boundary crossed, but wisdom decides how to respond. Sadness indicates loss, but faith decides how to move forward. Fear indicates uncertainty, but courage decides how to stand. Do not silence your emotions. Acknowledge them, but do not hand them the authority to decide your direction. Thinking above your feelings means taking time to reflect before reacting. It means asking yourself, what is really happening here? What am I feeling and why? Is this emotion temporary or rooted in something deeper? When you ask questions, you slow down the emotional impulse. You create space for understanding, and understanding births wise decisions. Many people skip this step. They feel, so they act. They hurt, so they break. They fear, so they withdraw. They react, then regret. But emotional intelligence begins when you pause and interpret your emotions rather than obey them. You must become the guardian of your internal world. Your mind must sit on the throne, not your mood. When your mind leads, your decisions align with your values, not your impulses. You stop moving just because you feel discomfort. You stop leaving just because something becomes difficult. You stop reacting just because something triggers you. You begin to respond with clarity. You begin to choose with intention. You begin to move with purpose. Thinking above your feelings also requires that you feed your mind with truth. If your mind is empty, your emotions will overpower you. But when your mind is filled with wisdom, understanding, and strong identity, your emotions will bow to clarity. You must learn to speak to yourself when your emotions rise. Remind yourself who you are. Remind yourself of your goals. Remind yourself of the bigger picture. You cannot allow temporary discomfort to sabotage your eternal purpose. And understand this deeply, your destiny requires emotional elevation. You cannot walk into greatness while being controlled by every trigger. You cannot build meaningful relationships if your emotions are unpredictable. You cannot lead, influence, or create if your feelings shift your direction every day. Your emotions are part of you, but they are not meant to rule you. You are meant to lead them. So rise. Step into emotional mastery. Think above your feelings, because your future depends on it. My friends, listen closely. Maturity is measured by what it takes to upset you. If small things can break you, then your foundation is small. If words can collapse your peace, then your peace was weak to begin with. Build yourself. Strengthen your identity. Know who you are so deeply that the world cannot tell you otherwise. Because when you know who you are, emotions become your servants, not your masters. And now, as I close, I want to leave you with this. Your purpose is too great, your calling too deep, your future too valuable, to be wasted on emotional impulses. You were born to lead your life, not to be dragged by it. Stand up, breathe, think, respond, grow, rise above your emotions. Because when you master your emotions, you master your destiny. Thank you.